Yes.
Yes. God, what a thumbnail.
See Jamie with first blood. There's 4 people watching. That's enough. And good morning.
Good morning.
Rod. Sure, let's open with a top comment, Rod. Well played.
Oh, man, that's
Good to see you, brother.
good to see you.
I see Steve and Jamie too. That's awesome. Sorry, I have to check my phone real quick about something. Just a quick double check.
Oh, well, instead of waiting on you
So,
to ask me how my
you dig
weekend
in.
was, my weekend was all right. I worked. Chris and I had a conversation somewhere around 3:45 in the morning on Saturday morning in which I cracked a joke about really not wanting to be a responsible adult as often as I am forced to be a responsible adult, and yet I was about to walk out the door and be a responsible adult. And we had that conversation at 3:45, and I don't know if you know this, but
That's early.
that's early. Well, and on Saturday morning, it was like 28 degrees. And look, y'all, I realize there are parts
Yes,
of
it
the
was.
world where it gets much colder, but it doesn't happen here in Georgia that often. And once it goes below freezing, I mean, yeah, minus 40 is more dangerous than 0. But once it goes below freezing, now you're at risk of dying from going outside.
Yes.
So it's oh, and then it looks like Dave Bowen joined us. So that was my weekend. I worked, but in a couple of weeks, the money from all that work should come in, and then I'm gonna be like, God, am I glad I had that conversation with Chris at 3:45 in the morning.
Did I work Saturday? Yes, I did. Okay.
Anyhow, how was your weekend?
Same. Worked Saturday. Yesterday was I was lazier than I intended to be yesterday. I still did a lot of work on that one video that I'm cutting for the dance studio, but yeah. Dave says it's 30 degrees here in Florida and it sucks.
Anyhow, Dave.
Even the Russians avoid absurdities. I don't know. Have you not seen the Russian Avengers?
Yes. With the cyborg,
With the mechanized cyborg werebear?
Yeah.
Yeah, that made me happy.
Good, because the rest of the movie was not. It was not.
It was not a great movie, but it had fantastic special creature effects. And pretty good combat choreography. So, woke M&ms.
Yeah, Meme War Monday. And this is... I mean, there are memes related to this. However, it turns out if you search Twitter for
Yeah,
M&Ms.
don't look for M&Ms on Twitter.
You will not find these are not the M&Ms you're looking for.
No, they're not.
Though they could be the M&Ms you're looking for.
You don't want them.
But, well, I mean, the point that I'm making, you don't want these M&Ms either. But
basically, before I started looking for the M&Ms conversation on Twitter this morning as part of our show research, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I was under the impression that actual pornography was not allowed on Twitter. Apparently, allowed and is are two completely different things.
yes. Apparently, as long as there's no penetration?
Nope.
Oh, see, I didn't know. I was under the impression. Look.
It's bad. It's bad.
There's naked people on Twitter, basically, and for some reason looking for M&Ms.
Actively naked people.
Yeah.
And apparently they're into candy.
And for some reason searching for M&Ms on Twitter will show you naked people.
Yeah, I didn't get far enough down the rabbit hole to figure out exactly why it is that particular search term, and when I say that particular search term, I mean the letter M ampersand N S. Somehow just flood your Twitter feed with pornography. I don't know why. It has something to do with the MMs letters being related to SMS text message subscription feeds, and so apparently that brings in all the OnlyFans advertisements. And I was also previously under the impression that OnlyFans models preferred not to show anything beyond them in their underwear in their advertising because the point was to entice you to come and see the rest of it. I was mistaken about this as well, apparently.
I mean, it might be good for us to get smart on OnlyFans just because we're part of the internet culture, and that is the thing I don't actually know a lot about. Like, if OnlyFans can surprise us on Twitter, which they did this morning, I don't want OnlyFans sneaking up on me anywhere else. Like, that'd be one of those things where, like, you're filling out a job application or you're talking to a cop, and you're like, hold on now.
And okay, we're off the track a little bit, but let me I will back up a little bit. The OnlyFans thing. I did a little bit of research on OnlyFans when there was a little bit of a buzz because OnlyFans was going to get rid of all the pornography on OnlyFans.
And shut itself down.
Which, right. And they have since reversed track on that. But there was a little bit of buzz about that. They were gonna move away from having the porno on there, for many of the same reasons that places like Twitter, Twitch, and the like don't allow pornography, at least in theory. On YouTube it's okay as long as it's gay. That's a thing. That also surprised me. But apparently OnlyFans, when it didn't start off as a porno thing. It started off as like an alternative to Patreon and those kind of sites. And the idea was that it was for creators, for YouTube guys, to monetize their content, and you get a subscription so that you're paying for the content. And then it turned out that the only thing that basically was drawing a crowd on OnlyFans was the subscription paid content for pornography producers, amateur pornographers. So, and hey, you know what? Y'all do y'all.
In that case, some of these, and you know what? No.
Yep.
Anyhow, long story short, don't look for M&Ms on Twitter.
M&Ms got funny. And Steve says sex sells, no surprise there, and that is part of the conversation on the M&Ms. Absolutely. So the M&Ms this is the Mars website, okay?
Okay, like, just stop, just for a second, all right? You know how sometimes news stories come across and you're like, no, this didn't come from the Onion. This is not from the Babylon Bee.
Right. I've got something from the Babylon Bee as well.
But so far, this is... we're going to touch the Ukraine thing
tomorrow.
Probably, probably a little later in the week, Rod. It's Meme More Monday, and we like to try and do meme Mimi content on Monday.
Anyway, so this is not the bee. This is not a joke. This is Mars. This is the official website. At Mars, we believe that in the world we want tomorrow, society is inclusive. And as one of our most iconic brands, M&Ms is announcing a new global commitment to create a world where everyone feels they belong. That's a lie.
Look, keep going.
That's a lie.
Keep going.
I'll come back to how that's a lie. M&M's has been around for more than 80 years, and this year the brand continues to evolve to reflect the more dynamic, progressive world that we live in. And as part of this evolution, built on purpose, M&M's promises to use the power of fun to include everyone with a goal of increasing the sense of belonging for 10 million people around the world by 2025.
Those were definitely words.
Why 10 million?
Look, I listened to the woman's statement, and I swear, you know how people are like, that post gave me cancer? Like, I swear, listening to this woman's statement gave me ear cancer.
You mean this statement? I think you're correct.
So, I listened to the president of M&M's statement.
And Alex points out the trans M&M story was funny. Yes, it was. I love the Babylon Bee. M&M's introduces new trans character who identifies as a Skittle. As part of a new bold marketing strategy to promote inclusivity and appeal to less than 1% of the population. Yes, Mars Incorporated has introduced a new M&M character who identifies as a Skittle. I'm going to be honest here, we basically are doing this because it's hip and makes us look cool, said Mars Incorporated CEO Franklin Crunchy. That adds to the bottom line. And I think we can make a decent fortune by comparing the hardship of real trans people to a wacky cartoon character. That right there. So,
So yeah, M&M went woke. Okay, like it's. Can we go back to the original statement?
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, if we must. Here, I'm gonna spin that up a little bit for the viewers at home. No, not quite that much. We're bleeding over the edges.
They can see it.
Okay. So the brand has also introduced the M&M's Fund to track the brand's impact on our mission, which will offer resources, mentorship opportunities, and financial support in the arts and entertainment space to help ensure people have access to experiences where everyone feels they belong. That's another lie. Okay. So, when I say that's another lie, the top one here, at Mars, we believe that in the world we want tomorrow, society is inclusive. And as one of our most iconic brands, M&M's is announcing a new global commitment to create a world where everyone feels they belong. That's a lie. Because guaranteed, they're not going to go out of their way to make you feel you belong if you don't belong to the progressive victim stack. That's the only belonging they're interested in. So if you don't basically already have a left-wing terrorist organization that's actively lobbying Molotov cocktails on your behalf, like you're a person of color or you're a sexual deviant, etc., then you have no place in the inclusive world. The more inclusive progressive future is very exclusive. If you're a religious person, if you're heterosexual, if you're white, if you're male, right?
Straight white cis male that practices a monotheistic religion,
then there's no place for you, right? Every time you hear somebody crying about white supremacy bullshit, you're talking about people who are exclusively and by definition the most excluding bigots you can find. I dare you to find me one white supremacist per cause of the so-called exclusive left. And
well, yeah, we talked about it several times. Like the Charlottesville rally was so illustrative. Like, even if that was 1/10 of every white supremacist in the country, that means there was only like 3,000 or 4,000 white supremacists in the country, right? Like, because it's just, it's not a thing. Like, and when you see the people on the left that are like, dear white people, tell other white people not to act like dickheads when they say things that they shouldn't. You clearly don't know this. We already do that. Right? Like, it's a thing. If somebody takes a joke too far, we're like, whoa, buddy, you're making me uncomfortable. Maybe you should not say that. Okay? Like, because of course this is not about equality. This is sort of like how feminism's not actually about equality, right? Feminism is about the promotion of female ideals. Fair enough, but don't call it equality. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining, all right? Don't do that. You're going to piss me off. And so now the M&Ms, and I personally wanted to talk about this because it's one of those things where if you were to try and make something up that was this absurd, it would be difficult to believe. So then when it happens in real life, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not clickbait. That's not an article from the Babylon Bee.
right.
This actually happened. A candy company decided to make sure that their anthropomorphized, man, maybe I need more coffee, I can't say the word, but their cartoon characters are more inclusive. Okay. It just...
So let's talk a little bit about how they're doing that. They've taken the several candy characters, and they're changing the shoes on the brown M&M and the green M&M, which are the two female M&Ms. And so they got rid of the Doomy pump boots on the green M&M and put her in a pair of flat sneakers, but still female.
Well, not only, but the statement behind it, the whole, well, it's supposed to represent her confidence but easygoing nature. And I'm like, bruh, they're shoes.
Bruh, it's a candy.
Right? And look, I say this as a filmmaker that believes, like, the color of somebody's notebook in a 38-second scene can represent the entire meaning of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
But, bruh, it's a cartoon character based on a piece of candy who's wearing shoes, okay? Like, slow down. I keep saying bruh. I should say, like, Z. That's probably what the president of...
Shouldn't.
Well, I mean, you got to have some kind of, like, gender-neutral term to refer to the president of M&M's, because she was... I think about listening to that, and I'm like, oh, God, you mean it.
So the one that I think is the funniest, obviously, is the green one, because they're going out of their way to make the green M&M less sexy. Where there is conversation on the interwebs about this thing, Tucker Carlson had a take on it, and immediately you've got a bunch of lefties screeching that, oh, Tucker Carlson's mad because he wants to have sex with his candy. No. I'm sorry.
I used to date a girl named Candy.
Oh. That obviously worked out well.
Used to.
But the green M&M, that was sexualized originally by the Mars Company. Okay? We have a feminine green M&M with a feminine face and the big pouty feminine lips and the F me pumps, the go-go boots, precisely because there was this urban legend, urban myth, whatever, hell, call it a superstition, that the green M&Ms had an aphrodisiac quality, right? That's been at a minimum a running joke for 30 years now, right? And so the sexualization of the candy, that was not done by mistake, right? You tell everybody that the green M&M will work like an aphrodisiac, and the only way you can get them is by buying a bag of all the M&Ms generally. There you go. Steve says it's been more like 50 years. I don't know if it goes back that far, but yeah. Pater M&Ms. That's a cheap stripper.
Hey, apparently M&Ms were an aphrodisiac for Hunter Biden, right next to the crack rock.
And Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan cheese, that's right. And women of questionable relationships and age. That's a real specific fetish.
Yes.
I'm trying to avoid saying the word.
I think I just got to the bottom of my coffee cup and caught some of the dregs. Okay. So the reason this is worth talking about, a candy company rebranding their candy and being woke seems inconsequential. It seems like something that doesn't matter, that's not worth talking about. It's not worth even paying attention to. But here's the thing. This happens because the culture war and the enemy in the culture war, in the war to eradicate your culture, the enemy is infiltrating all institutions. Okay, it'd be one thing if some silly little ice cream maker decided that all his ice cream was going to be pro-gay, pro-this, pro-that.
You mean like Ben and Jerry's?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But those guys were always liberal weirdos.
They were.
At least it's consistent. Like, M&Ms were just like... I remember when the biggest things M&Ms ever did was introduce the red one.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
But this is a result of people are hiring people with college degrees. And it really is the case. I can't tell you how many times I've heard it. It doesn't matter what you get a degree in. What the employer wants to know is that you can start something and finish it. That's all they care about. Unless you're getting a degree like a medical degree or something very specific,
something like
engineering,
that, yeah.
Right? Unless you're getting something like that, all an employer cares about is that you have a degree, and that was true.
Now employers care if
That's
you have
still
a degree.
But here's the thing. Now, those degrees are in gender theory. They're in grievance theories. Gender studies, women's studies, African American studies, etc., race studies, etc., etc., etc. All the grievance culture studies, which means that what you're hiring, when you're hiring just a degree, what you're hiring is a brainwashed little automaton that has been programmed by the enemy to cause you harm. Their mission, the thing that they've been trained to do, is to enter an institution and destroy it.
Yeah, and they think they're doing the good thing. They think they're the hero of the light in doing this. They've been that far brainwashed, that much programmed. You might have had a highly intelligent, complex human being that walked into this institution, but then what walked back out was an NPC awaiting orders to create more NPCs. It's like, well, gosh, everything about like vampirism and zombies and the Borg from Star Trek, like that's, except, and here's the deal, okay? Like, usually in stories, vampires know they're vampires. These people do not. That's what makes them terrifying, okay? And now we live in a world where we have to make sure that the candy's inclusive. Yay! Like, somehow chocolate is not already one of the most universal portions of the human experience. Like, you've ever met somebody that's like, nah, I don't like chocolate.
I have actually met people who have said they don't like chocolate.
They're weird.
Not very often, but you've never heard somebody say the words "I don't like chocolate" and not seen at least one person nearby who's not involved in the conversation.
Are you okay?
What? Right? It is. It's very universal, and like okay.
But now the orange M&M has to
start talking about like
anxieties.
97% dark chocolate that's extra bitter, and it's a little different, but. You might hear somebody say, well, I prefer dark chocolate, or I prefer milk chocolate, or that kind of, but you will very rarely hear somebody say, I don't like chocolate. Because it's candy.
Right. You put enough sugar in anything, and you could probably at least tolerate it.
No, I mean, I like the extra dark, bitter chocolate, especially for like, there's a particular coffee drink that I like called a borja, which is a block, it's coffee poured over a block of like unsweetened bitter baker's chocolate with orange zested in it, and it's surprisingly good.
I forget the name of it, but it's a French thing where you take a croissant and then you drizzle dark chocolate and lots of butter on top of it.
It's just a croissant au chocolat.
Okay.
It is. I know exactly, but no, I know what you're talking about.
No, but I mean, it's lots of butter. That for some reason that seems to make that seems.
But it is just called it. They just say croissant with chocolate in French, and there was a little French patisserie on the boardwalk in Kandahar that had those, and they were freaking awesome.
So, but no. This is not just some throwaway thing with candy, as Chris was saying. Okay, this is actually part of the culture war. And the thing is that this is a good measuring stick because it means that the left has already taken over so many institutions. It's started to filter down into things that don't actually matter. One of our commenters, I think it was Dave, said, and then I think Alex from Polytech pointed out a similar point, but basically, M&Ms themselves are not changing. There's still, if the current research about cancer is to be believed, sugar might be worse for you than smoking cigarettes. Okay, so we sell children little colorful, potentially like death pills, right? Why? Because they taste good, because they're loaded with sugar and chocolate, right? M&Ms doesn't change that.
Nope.
No. But instead, they change their packaging. And then they make sure that the two female M&Ms get along with each other better, right? And they make sure that the orange M&M like embraces his anxieties, okay? And look, the embrace your anxiety thing. I will say that I do think that there is quite a bit about mental health that needs to be normalized in our culture. It's not weird to go see a heart specialist if something is wrong with your heart. It's not wrong to go see a podiatrist if something is wrong with your foot, right? So if you are depressed or have got some kind of personality disorder, doing counseling, seeing a psychiatric nurse, whatever, all that should be every bit as normal as the rest of it in healthcare. Fair enough, okay? But I could tell you, as somebody that has had some mental health services, when they say embrace your anxiety, no, that is not what they tell you to do. Okay, like you don't actually have to go through the rest of your life paranoid. And let's be honest, the orange M&M's got a pretty damn good reason to be paranoid. Everybody wants to bite his head off, like literally, it's a thing. And then as far
Okay.
There's
two more articles I want to show you real quick to close on. And there's a point to it, so just bear with me. Okay, Huffington Post, right? This is not Fox News. This is the Huffington Post. Twitter users hilariously pan inclusive M&M's rebrand that nobody asked for. Not everyone is sweet on the idea, right? And you've got losing the voting rights bill and getting woke M&Ms instead feels about right, right? What do we want? M&Ms with better rigged CGI mouths. When do we want it? 20 years ago at least. Like, one of the M&Ms definitely did something effed up, and this is just their way of quietly replacing them. Yeah, by the way, the effed up thing is... There's a massive lawsuit going on right now that threatens to eat up Mars, Nestle, and Hershey in child slavery lawsuits.
Oh, wow. Wait. The Ivory Coast? You mean to tell me that the super woke company is using African slave labor to make their chocolate?
Yes. That's what I mean to tell you.
So they're Democrats?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So status quo.
Right. Well, remember how there were no more open air slave markets anywhere in the world until Barack Obama was president?
I'm tracking.
And then they opened them all back up?
Right.
That wasn't by accident.
No. No, they got an object lesson in how everything abhors a vacuum. They killed Gaddafi, and somehow something worse took his place.
Exactly. But we've got Huffington Post here. Twitter users hilariously pan inclusive M&Ms rebrand that nobody asked for.
Those tweets are great, though.
And then we've got LGBTQ Nation. This is not a publication that I spend a great deal of time reading, but there you go. The internet explodes in laughter as M&M's announces new inclusive characters. No one in all of human history has ever looked at a effing M&M and said, I don't feel represented. Right? So this is coming from LGBTQ Nation. So I think it's freaking hilarious.
Even the left thinks this is retarded.
Even the left thinks this is retarded. Right?
Because it is.
Now, in fairness, it looks like this is a pretty obvious ploy to grab some attention, to manage some marketing and branding, and distract from a major controversy. And we're gonna have to go back and look at the controversy more as it develops. But there is a massive lawsuit going on related to the use of slave labor by these candy companies to produce their chocolate. So, I mean, it's kind of like when, I don't know.
Everything else Democrats did?
Andrew Cuomo should have been going down for the murder of a few 100,000 elderly people, where we had means, motive, opportunity, and essentially a signed confession. And instead, there was suddenly a sex scandal which, by the way, has completely disappeared. Right? Which is... Yes, Rod, they don't have a white one either. Ha-ha! So...
They don't have white chocolate M&Ms either.
They've done. They were limited run, though.
Did they... It's fun. Again, you know what? Nope. I'm going to let all those jokes go because I want to stay on YouTube. Yeah. You know, the other thing that's really funny is Skittles already locked up the whole Taste the Rainbow thing.
Yes, they did.
But...
And Skittles commercials are... awful.
Yeah, but at least they embrace their weirdness and cringe and everything. Skittles have been weird.
Yeah, you know who doesn't embrace that weirdness and cringe? Me. I don't eat Skittles.
Well, they're not chocolate.
That's correct.
Okay. However, the thing is about M&Ms is, well, dude, they're already a rainbow. That's what's hilarious about this, okay? To me, that was not lost on me, but it's like...
They're even the weird BLM rainbow with the extra brown stripe.
Exactly. I mean, you're making that joke, but that's actually an exact thought that I had.
You mean how the BLM rainbow is like dirty underwear?
That's... yeah, that's what the BLM rainbow is dirty underwear. There you go.
Because there's a brown stripe.
Hey, and then I just want to ask, like, before we go... You know,
which we need to.
Yeah. So, you know J.K. Simmons was the original voice of the yellow M&M?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you think he's looking at this, in his full-blown, Spider-Man voice, just screaming at the TV, be like, I'm never, ever, can't believe I'm associated with this.
There we go. All right, y'all, be safe out there. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.